Ethan Caldwell, a 32-year-old Seattle architect, stood at the altar of his perfect life. His fiancée, Sophia Bennett, 30, had orchestrated every detail of their dream wedding. Venue secured, menu perfected. Her Pinterest board a canvas of roses and gold. They'd even named their future children. Noah for a boy, Lily for a girl. Ethan's world was locked in, unbreakable, until a single text from Mia Harper, Sophia's college friend, shattered it. Don't marry her. The words hit like a grenade. Mia, a sharp-tongued relic from Sophia's college days, wasn't close to Ethan but had always been brutally honest. Their occasional barbecues and game nights revealed her knack for cutting through pretense. Ethan's reply was curt. "What's this about?" Mia's response was immediate, no text this time. "Meet me. Old Pine Park. 3 p.m. No emojis, no small talk, just a command." Ethan arrived early, the park nearly empty under a gray, restless sky. Wind tossed dry leaves across benches as he waited, watching squirrels skirmish over scraps. Mia approached in jeans and a dark hoodie, her face bare of makeup, her demeanor all business. "Hey," she said, no smile, just a flat greeting. Ethan echoed it, tense. She handed him her phone without a word. The screen glowed with a photo that gut-punched him. Sophia, in her bride-to-be sash, locked in a kiss with a shirtless man in a police cap at a club. Her hands tangled in his hair, his hand under her dress, exposing her thigh. Mia swiped. Another photo. Sophia grinding against the man, head back, eyes closed. A third. Her laughing, lipstick smeared, a bottle in one hand, a heel in the other. "She left with him," Mia said, her voice devoid of sugarcoating. Ethan stared, willing the images to morph into something forgivable. They didn't. Sophia had insisted on early bachelor and bachelorette parties, claiming she wanted to detox and shine for the wedding. Ethan had laughed, charmed by her thoughtfulness. Now it felt like a cruel setup. He returned the phone, jaw clenched, breathing slow through his nose. "She told the girls not to tell you," Mia added quietly. "Said it was her last night of freedom. Said she deserved it." Her tone carried no drama, just weary resignation, as if her anger had burned out before she'd even sent the text. "Why tell me?" Ethan asked. Mia didn't blink. "Because you deserve to know who you're marrying." Ethan nodded once, a slow, numbing silence settling in. No rage, no questions, just the quiet snap of something deep inside breaking. He went home. Sophia was working late. He didn't wait. He packed essentials, laptop, passport, some clothes, leaving their engagement photos on the fridge as a bitter joke. He took the computer's hard drive and left the rest. By the time Sophia returned, Ethan was gone. Ethan drove through Seattle's rain-slicked streets. The photos Mia showed him burning in his mind. Sophia, his fiancée, laughing in a stranger's arms, her bride-to-be sash a mocking accessory to her betrayal. He didn't call her, didn't text. Words felt useless against the raw ache in his chest. Instead, he pulled into the parking lot of their shared condo, the place where they'd planned a life together. Noah or Lily, a house in the suburbs, a future now reduced to ash. Inside, the condo smelled of Sophia's lavender candles, a cruel reminder of her presence. Ethan moved with purpose, packing a duffel bag with essentials. Laptop, passport, a few shirts and jeans. He paused at the fridge, where a photo of their engagement party was pinned. A smiling Sophia, her arms around him, both unaware of the fracture to come. He left it there, a silent jab, and unplugged the computer's hard drive, ensuring no trace of their shared files remained. By the time Sophia's shift at her marketing firm ended, Ethan was gone, checking into a nondescript motel 2 towns over. The first text came at 9:17 p.m. "Ethan, where are you? I'm worried." He stared at the screen, his thumb hovering, but didn't reply. By midnight, her tone shifted. "Please, you're scaring me. Just let me know you're okay." Ethan powered off his phone, the silence louder than her words. Sleep didn't come. He lay on the motel's stiff mattress, replaying Mia's photos, each one a knife twisting deeper. Sophia's excuse, her last night of freedom, felt like a script she'd rehearsed. Day 2 brought a barrage of messages. Ethan, this isn't funny. Call me. Then, if this is some prank, it's cruel. Her desperation grew, but Ethan stayed silent, his resolve hardening. He wasn't ready to face her lies. Not yet. He spent the day sketching blueprints at a diner, the hum of coffee machines drowning out his thoughts. But Sophia's persistence gnawed at him, her texts piling up like debris from a wrecked ship. On the third day, Ethan turned his phone back on, unable to resist seeing how far she'd go. Within minutes, it rang. Sophia's name flashed, and he answered, his voice flat. What? Ethan, oh my God, where are you? Her voice trembled, a mix of panic and relief. What's going on? You know what's going on, he said, each word deliberate. I saw the photos. You left with him. Silence. Then a shaky breath. It wasn't what it looked like. I was drunk, Ethan. It was a stupid mistake. A mistake you hid, he cut in. You planned that night. Told your friends to keep quiet. You were going to walk down the aisle like it never happened. It didn't mean anything. Her voice cracked. Please, let's talk in person. I can explain. There's nothing to explain. He hung up, her number lighting up again instantly. He let it ring, each call a confirmation of her guilt. Voicemails followed, first tearful, then frantic, finally angry. You're throwing everything away over one night. I'm falling apart, Ethan. He saved each one, not out of sentiment but as evidence, a record of her unraveling. Sophia's texts grew erratic. I can't eat. I can't sleep. You're breaking me. Then, a shift to guilt. Everyone's asking questions. You're humiliating me. Ethan's jaw tightened. She'd humiliated herself, yet somehow he was the villain. By evening, her tone turned sharp. If you keep ignoring me, I don't know what I'll do. He didn't respond, but he kept every message, sensing this was only the beginning. That night, a new text arrived, not from Sophia but from her best friend, Lauren. Ethan, she's a mess. You're destroying her. Just talk to her. Ethan's blood boiled. Lauren had been at the bachelorette party, had seen Sophia's betrayal, and said nothing. Her loyalty to Sophia was another betrayal, a web of silence Ethan hadn't anticipated. He typed a reply but deleted it. No one deserved his explanation, not yet. The next morning, Ethan sat in the motel's dim lobby, coffee cooling in his hand, when his phone buzzed again. Another unknown number. A voicemail this time from Mia. Ethan, it's me. Sophia's telling people you overreacted, that it was just a dance. She's spinning it. Watch your back. Ethan's grip tightened on the cup. Sophia wasn't just pleading, she was rewriting the story, painting him as the unreasonable one. He felt a spark of anger, not just at her but at the life he'd almost locked himself into. He drove to a quiet park, needing air, needing clarity. As he sat on a bench, watching joggers pass under the gray Seattle sky, a plan formed. He wouldn't confront Sophia directly, not yet. Her lies, her family's influence, her friend's complicity, it was a machine he couldn't fight with words alone. He opened his laptop and searched for a lawyer, someone sharp enough to cut through the chaos Sophia was building. A name popped up, Lauren Pierce, a no-nonsense attorney with a reputation for winning messy cases. Ethan booked a consultation for the next day. As he closed his laptop, another text from Sophia arrived. I'm outside the motel. 5 minutes, Ethan. That's all I ask. His pulse spiked. How did she know where he was? He glanced out the window, spotting her white Lexus idling across the lot, her silhouette rigid behind the wheel. For a moment, he considered going out, facing her, tearing into the lies. But he stayed put. Let her wait. Let her feel the weight of her choices. The Lexus lingered for 10 minutes, then drove off, its taillights fading into the rain. Ethan exhaled, a strange calm settling over him. This wasn't the end, but it was his first step toward freedom. Ethan sat across from Lauren Pierce, a Seattle attorney with a reputation for dismantling messy cases. Her office, tucked above a downtown tile showroom, was sparse but sharp, much like her demeanor. Ethan slid his phone across the desk, showing Sophia's flood of texts and voicemails. She's not stopping, he said, his voice steady but heavy. And now her friends are covering for her. Lauren scrolled through the messages, her eyes narrowing. This is a pattern. She's desperate to control the narrative. We'll start with a cease and desist. Before Ethan could respond, his phone buzzed. A new message, not from Sophia, but an unknown number. We need to talk. Now. Lobby of your office, 10 a.m. No name, but the tone screamed authority. Ethan's gut twisted. Sophia's parents, Margaret and Richard Bennett, Seattle socialites with a fortune tied to real estate, weren't the type to stay silent. He showed Lauren the text. She raised an eyebrow. They're circling. Be ready. At 10 a.m., Ethan stepped into the lobby of his architecture firm, coffee in hand, bracing himself. Margaret stood by the reception desk, her designer coat and pearl earrings out of place among the casual office buzz. Her gaze locked onto Ethan, cold and unyielding. "We need to speak privately," she said, her voice clipped. Ethan led her to a back hallway near the loading dock, concrete floors echoing under their steps. No one else around. "Sophia's falling apart," Margaret began, clutching her purse like a shield. "She hasn't eaten in days. Barely sleeps. You're doing this to her." Ethan stayed silent, letting her words hang. "She made a mistake," Margaret pressed. "One night. She was drunk. You're throwing away a perfect future over a lapse." "A lapse she hid," Ethan said, his tone even. "She planned that night, told her friends to lie. That's not a mistake, it's a choice." Margaret's lips tightened. "If you'd been more attentive, maybe she wouldn't have felt the need to act out. You're distant, Ethan. Always have been." The accusation stung, but Ethan didn't flinch. "She orchestrated every detail of our wedding," he said. "I followed her lead, cake, colors, everything. If I was distant, it's because I trusted her. My mistake." "You're punishing her for being human," Margaret snapped. "You two were perfect together. Don't walk away from this from us." Her voice carried a veiled threat, the weight of their wealth behind it. Ethan met her gaze. "There's no us to walk away from." Sophia broke that. Margaret's jaw clenched, but before she could retort, Ethan turned and left, her heels clicking angrily behind him. 2 days later, Richard Bennett waited for Ethan in the motel parking lot, leaning against a sleek silver BMW. He straightened as Ethan approached, tossing his cigarette to the ground. "You're hard to track down," Richard said, his tone deceptively casual. Ethan exhaled smoke, saying nothing. "You've humiliated my daughter," Richard continued, stepping closer. "Our family. People are talking." "She humiliated herself," Ethan replied, crushing his cigarette underfoot. "You know what she did?" Richard's eyes narrowed. "We've sunk over $40,000 into this wedding venue, catering, flowers, her dress. You think you can just walk away? You owe us." Ethan's laugh was bitter. "She cheats, and I owe you? Show me the contract." Richard's face reddened. "You're a coward," he spat. "Always watching, never acting. My wife was right, you've got a cold streak. We should have trusted her instincts." "Try me in court," Ethan said, stepping past him. "I'm done here." Richard's voice followed him. "Fix this or we'll make you pay." Ethan didn't look back. The next morning, Sophia texted again, "I'm outside. Please, 5 minutes." Ethan peered through the motel's blinds. Her Lexus idled in the lot, her hands gripping the wheel. Against his better judgment, he went out and slid into the passenger seat. Sophia's eyes were red, her makeup a careful mask. "You look awful," Ethan said, not unkindly. She gave a hollow laugh. "So do you." Silence stretched between them, heavy with unspoken history. "I miss you," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I messed up, Ethan." "I'm sorry." "You don't miss me," he said. "You miss control." Her eyes flashed, searching his face for the man who'd once loved her. Then, in a low voice, she said, "If it fixes this, do what I did. Pick someone, anyone. I won't care. We're engaged, it means something. We can move past this." Ethan blinked, stunned. "You think letting me cheat balances this? You lied, Sophia. You built a secret and expected me to live in it." Her face crumpled. "I'm trying to fix this," she said, her voice rising. "I'm doing everything I can." "You're trying to fix your image," Ethan cut in. "Not us." He opened the car door. "Don't contact me again." Her hand shot out, grabbing his arm. "Don't do this," she pleaded, her voice sharp. "You're not better than me." Ethan pulled free, his eyes cold. "I never cheated. I never lied. That's the difference." He stepped out, her voice chasing him. "This isn't over, Ethan." But he didn't turn back. Back in his room, Ethan called Lauren Pierce. "They're threatening a lawsuit," he said, recounting Richard's words. "And Sophia's losing it." Lauren's voice was calm but firm. "They have no case, but they're banking on you folding. We'll file for a restraining order if she shows up again. Save everything, texts, voicemails, all of it." Ethan nodded, a plan solidifying. Sophia's family thought they could bully him into submission. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The Seattle courthouse loomed under a gray morning sky, its marble steps slick with drizzle. Ethan Caldwell adjusted his tie, his heart steady but heavy. Today, he'd face Sophia's parents, Margaret and Richard Bennett, in their $40,000 lawsuit against him for breach of engagement and emotional distress. The absurdity of their claim, blaming Ethan for Sophia's betrayal, fueled his resolve. Inside, the courtroom buzzed with quiet tension. Margaret sat ramrod straight, pearls gleaming, while Richard's tailored suit couldn't hide his scowl. Sophia was absent, letting her parents fight her battle. Ethan's lawyer, Lauren Pierce, stood beside him, her sharp eyes scanning the room. "They're banking on you folding under pressure," she whispered. "We've got this." Ethan nodded, clutching a folder of evidence, texts, voicemails, and Mia's photos from the bachelorette party. But Lauren had a surprise up her sleeve, one she'd kept even from Ethan until last night. The judge, a stern woman with silver-streaked hair, called the session to order. The Bennett's lawyer, a slick man in an overpriced suit, rose first. "Your Honor, my clients invested heavily in a wedding that Mr. Caldwell abruptly canceled, causing financial loss and severe emotional harm. We seek $40,000 for expenses and damages." His voice dripped with rehearsed sympathy, painting Ethan as a callous runaway. Lauren stood unfazed. "Your Honor, may we present the real reason this wedding never happened?" The judge nodded, her expression unreadable. Lauren placed a stack of printed texts on the table, each one time-stamped from Sophia's phone. These messages, sent by Ms. Sophia Bennett to her friends, discuss her actions at her bachelorette party. She instructed them to conceal her encounter with another man. Murmurs rippled through the gallery. Lauren projected a photo onto a screen, Mia's evidence of Sophia kissing a shirtless stranger, her bride-to-be, sash glaringly ironic. The judge leaned forward, adjusting her glasses. "This is compelling, Ms. Pierce. But do you have corroboration?" Lauren's lips twitched, a hint of a smile. "We do, Your Honor. I'd like to call Marcus Bell to the stand." The courtroom doors opened and a lean man in his late 20s walked in, his posture confident but not cocky. Marcus, the dancer from Sophia's bachelorette party, had left Seattle weeks ago but returned at Lauren's request. He swore in, his voice steady. "I met Sophia Bennett at the club," he said. "She pursued me that night, said it was her last chance to have fun. We left together. She stayed at my apartment until morning." The gallery gasped. Margaret's face paled, her pearls suddenly stark against her flushed neck. Richard's scowl deepened, his fist clenching on the table. Lauren pressed on. "Mr. Bell, did Ms. Bennett mention her engagement?" Marcus nodded. "She said, my fiancé doesn't need to know. It's just one night." The judge's brow furrowed, her pen pausing. Lauren produced a sealed envelope. "Your Honor, this is Mr. Bell's sworn affidavit detailing not only that night but a prior encounter. Ms. Bennett contacted him 2 weeks before the party, suggesting they meet." The revelation landed like a thunderclap. Sophia's betrayal wasn't a drunken slip, it was calculated, repeated. Ethan's stomach churned, not with pain but with grim validation. The Bennett's lawyer scrambled. "Your Honor, my clients were unaware of these allegations. This is irrelevant to their financial losses." The judge's eyes narrowed. "Irrelevant? Your clients claim emotional distress, yet their daughter orchestrated the events leading to this cancellation. That's not distress, it's deception." She turned to Lauren. "Anything else?" Lauren slid a final document across the table, a text from Sophia to a friend, sent days after the party. "He'll never find out. I've got this under control." The judge's expression hardened. "I've seen enough. This lawsuit is baseless. Mr. Caldwell owes nothing. Case dismissed with prejudice." Her gavel struck, sharp and final. The gallery buzzed as Margaret and Richard stood, their composure cracking. In the hallway, their voices erupted. "This is your fault," Margaret hissed at Richard, her heels clicking furiously. "You let her run wild, always cleaning up her messes." Richard snapped back, "Don't pin this on me. You raised her to think she's untouchable." Their argument echoed off the marble walls, drawing stares from clerks and passers-by. Ethan watched, detached, as their polished facade crumbled. Lauren clapped his shoulder. "You held your ground. They didn't expect that." Ethan exhaled, the weight of weeks lifting slightly. "What now?" he asked. Lauren's eyes gleamed. "Now you move on. They've got nothing left to throw at you." As Ethan stepped outside, Mia waited by the courthouse steps, her scarf loose around her neck. "You stayed," Ethan said, surprised. She shrugged. "Figured you'd need a witness to this circus." Ethan almost smiled. "It was a mess." Mia nodded. "But you weren't. You burned their lies to the ground." For the first time in weeks, Ethan felt a spark of clarity, not anger, not pain, but the faint promise of freedom. Ethan stepped out of the Seattle courthouse, the cold air sharp against his face. The judge's gavel still echoed in his mind, case dismissed, Sophia's lies exposed, her parents' $40,000 lawsuit reduced to a humiliating defeat. For the first time in weeks, Ethan felt unburdened, as if the weight of Sophia's betrayal had finally lifted. But freedom came with a question: what now? He dismantled the life he'd planned, but what would he build in its place? Days passed in quiet routine. Ethan returned to work, sketching blueprints with a focus he hadn't felt in months. His colleagues avoided mentioning the canceled wedding, their silence a small mercy. Sophia's texts stopped, her voicemails dried up. The absence was deafening, but Ethan didn't trust it. Sophia never let go easily, she'd always been a strategist, spinning narratives to suit her. He braced for her next move, but it didn't come. Instead, the news arrived through Mia. Ethan met Mia at a cozy downtown cafe, its warm lights a contrast to the gray Seattle drizzle. Over coffee, she slid her phone across the table, showing a message from a mutual friend. Sophia's taking a break, Mia said, her voice neutral. Checked into a wellness retreat upstate. Her parents are keeping it quiet, but word's out. She had a public meltdown at a charity gala last week, stormed out mid-speech, crying about betrayal. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Betrayal? That's rich? Mia nodded, sipping her latte. She tried rewriting the story, told everyone you overreacted to a flirtation. But people saw the photos. Her friends aren't covering for her anymore. Ethan leaned back, processing. Sophia's unraveling wasn't his victory, it was her consequence. Her parents, once untouchable, were dodging whispers at their country club, their perfect image cracked. The friend's message added a detail: Sophia had started therapy, admitting she'd lost control. Ethan felt no satisfaction, only a strange emptiness. I don't feel sorry for her, he said quietly. I just don't feel anything. Mia studied him, her sharp eyes softening. That's progress. You're not carrying her mess anymore. She paused, then added, I didn't tell you earlier, but I had my own history with Sophia. She pulled something similar in college, lied to a friend of mine, broke his trust. I stayed quiet then. Couldn't this time. Ethan met her gaze, a new respect forming. Mia hadn't just exposed Sophia, she'd risked her own ties to do it. Why now, he asked. She shrugged. You seemed worth it. Ethan posted a simple note online that night: wedding canceled. No new date. Please respect my privacy. The internet churned with speculation, but he ignored it, shutting off notifications. The next day, a colleague forwarded him a gossip blog post: Seattle socialite's wedding implodes amid cheating scandal. It mentioned Sophia's gala outburst, her parents' failed lawsuit, and Marcus's testimony. Ethan skimmed it, then closed the tab. The world could gossip, he was done living in their story. Weeks later, Ethan and Mia met again, this time at her apartment. She'd invited him over to watch a game, a casual gesture that felt like a lifeline. Her place was warm, cluttered with books and sketches, a stark contrast to Sophia's sterile condo. Over pizza and soda, they talked not about Sophia but about Ethan's new project, a community center design, and Mia's freelance photography. You're good at starting over, she said, half smiling. Ethan chuckled. Didn't have a choice. As the game ended, Mia leaned back, her expression thoughtful. You know, I almost didn't send that text. Thought you might hate the messenger. Ethan shook his head. You gave me the truth. That's more than Sophia ever did. Mia's smile was small but genuine. Guess we're both free now. They clinked glasses, the moment light but meaningful. No promises, no rush, just two people finding solid ground after a storm. Months passed. Sophia faded from Ethan's life, her social media silent, her parents absent from the society pages. Rumors swirled that they'd sold their estate, retreating from the public eye. Ethan didn't care. He threw himself into his work, the community center project, earning praise from clients. He and Mia grew closer, their friendship a quiet anchor. One evening, as they walked through Pike Place Market, the air alive with street music and salt, Ethan felt something new, not love, not yet, but possibility. He'd lost a future he thought he wanted, but gained one he could trust. Looking out at the Puget Sound, Ethan exhaled, the horizon clear. Sophia's betrayal had burned his old life to the ground, but the ashes held no weight. He was free not to hate, not to hurt, but to rebuild. With Mia beside him, laughing at a busker's bad joke, Ethan knew he was ready for whatever came next.